Hey, and welcome back to the Business Real Talk. On this episode, we're going to have the tough conversations and talk about what it means to create big promises and big results. So let's get real. Now, I want to be honest with you guys. I am dedicated to having those tough conversations that other people just won't have. And I know that last week I shared that I was going to be talking about converting fence sitters this week, but I'm actually going to jump ahead and change things up. Now, the reason why is I wrote a post this weekend and it sparked a lot of conversation. And as a result, I wanted to bring this to the Business Real Talk so we could get into it. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about big promises and big results, how you can actually deliver on your program promise in a reputation driven economy. And here's the deal, this episode is ultimately going to allow you to achieve two things. It's going to help you understand what it actually takes to create a scalable offer that delivers on your program's promise. But it's also going to help you recognize those catfish programs for what they are so that you can make those smart investments into your growth. And the post that sparked the internet is one that I'm just going to go ahead and read to you because not only is it so good, but it also makes a great introduction to what we're going to talk about here today. So here's what I shared recently. Can we please stop selling intrigue? Coach, I make $1 kajillion this month. Want to learn how? Me, your marketing and sales tells me nothing about your method for achieving this. Coach, yeah, you have to pay me 20K and I'll show you. Just trust me, I'll help you do this. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Yet this is what so many coaches are doing and teaching. Why? Because you bait people with the excitement and intrigue of some goal that seems so far out of reach, complete with the pretty pictures and champagne glasses and fancy trips to seal the deal, forcing you to take out a new loan and sell your firstborn just to join their program, convinced that this is it. Only to find that those smoke and mirrors were just that, and their method is nothing more than what you've learned 100 times before and could find on YouTube. This needs to stop. If you know you have the goods and can deliver results, but your audience can't see how you do it, you're asking people to just trust you that you can get them results without actually showing them you can. Enough is enough. You are the undeniable and only solution, and it's time to show up as it. This is why my clients have to give proof of their process by developing truly innovative methodology, because we're not fly by the night, buy my energy mentors. We're innovative leaders, trailblazers, the people that start a revolution and will change an industry. So stop playing games with your audience and tell them, how do you get them to the promised land? Have you ever signed up for a program that was just smoke and mirrors? Now, this post went on to get hundreds of people responding and replying back, saying that they know exactly what this feels like and they're so frustrated by what's happening in the industry today. But what we're going to do here on this episode is talk about what I call the catfish effect and share with you how you can actually alleviate this and make sure that your marketing and your program is delivering the promised results that you have. And before we dive in, you're probably asking yourself, what the hell is the catfish effect? So if you've ever seen the show called Catfish on MTV, you see that it's about people who are, fall in love with someone online only to show up and meet that person. And the image that they've portrayed to them, the person that they feel like they've been talking to, isn't who they end up meeting. And it's called the catfish effect. Now, we see this happen so much in the business world where you spend months vetting the next coach or program you're going to join, feeling like, oh my gosh, this is the answer to your problems. You fall in love, quote unquote. You do everything possible to get into that program only to get in and realize that the program doesn't match what they've been selling all along. And it feels like you've been catfished. You fell in love with one person in their marketing and their sales because they're excellent marketing and sales people, but the actual program doesn't deliver on that result. And it feels like you got yourself into a hot mess. And what I want to be able to do on this episode is share with you not only how to avoid creating that catfish effect inside of your own programs, which I know none of us really want to do, but also how to kind of spot that and identify that so that the next program you sign on for, you don't feel like you're getting catfished in the process as well. Now, there are two sides to this story that we're telling here today. The marketing side of the story, where you give the program promise in your marketing and your sales process in hopes of getting clients to actually say yes, as well as the delivery side of the story. Now, we're going to talk about both of them, but we're going to start with marketing. Now, you've been taught to do this all wrong. Sell them what they want, but give them what they need. Or you've been told to tell them the what, but not the how. Or trying to get people to buy into your lifestyle. All of this is total crap. And it only undermines your authority and the innovation that you have actually worked so hard to develop. And this is a harmful approach that is putting your reputation at risk. So let's get real and talk about why you need to stop selling people what they want, only to bait and switch them and give them what they need. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about what it actually means to give them both what they want and what they need by bridging the gap between the two. Now, most people don't actually know what their real problem is. Let's be fair about this. They're not the expert in what you're helping them achieve. So they're going and diagnosing their problem by what they think it might be. It's the equivalent of having a really bad stomach ache and using Dr. Google to try and figure out what's wrong. It's not going to be accurate, but it's going to be the best that you can do on your own. Now, a specialist, that's me and you, can accurately diagnose the real problem and therefore provide the right solution, saving you months of trial and error and chasing one thing after another. That's why we leverage our growth optimization calls in our business. This is not only an opportunity for us to see if it's a good fit for the both of us, but it's also my way of being able to help you diagnose your problem. So whether or not you decide to work with me or if I offer a spot into one of my programs, either way, you're going to walk away with having an accurate diagnosis of what really is the problem in your business and therefore allowing you to solve for the right problem. So I'm going to take a quick second to plug the fact that if you haven't already and you've been maybe a little standoffish on booking your growth optimization call, this is your sign that if you want an accurate diagnosis of what to be doing in your business and what to focus on, whether that's us working together or not, to book your growth optimization call. We're going to diagnose this for you and share with you whether or not we can support you and what program might be the right fit for you. So head on over to ecsleads.com/call to book your call. So let's talk about how we create a bridge between what it is your prospective client really understands that they want and desire right now, and you actually discussing what they actually need in order to solve for that problem. Now, a great way for me to really help you understand this is by giving you an example. Let's say, for example, that you support people in clearing subconscious blocks, and you know that they need subconscious healing in order to market to high paying clients. Now, right now, if you're operating from a place of selling them what they want, but giving them what they need, you're probably selling them this idea of you're going to help them get high paying clients. But again, in the actual program, you're breaking down how to heal from subconscious blocks in order to achieve that. Now, again, this can work, but the problem again becomes that you really ruin the trust that you've developed. So let's talk about how we can bridge that without doing this in some backwards way of bait and switching your clients. So here's a sample example to show you exactly how you can do that. We would say something like, you know, you want high paying clients and you've attempted all the marketing strategies and tactics that every coach has fed you. It's not your fault. The reason why these haven't worked for you is because your subconscious blocks act as your own invisibility cloak. No matter how much you're posting and showing up, you feel and act invisible. Now, see what I did here? I leveraged the opportunity to identify their desire, which is to be a magnet for high paying clients. We acknowledged the need, clearing the subconscious blocks, and we created a bridge between those two things, talking about the invisibility cloak. Now, by doing this, we're connecting the dots. We're creating a bridge that allows for your prospective client to have the clarity while also clearly positioning your solution without betraying your potential client's trust that you've worked so hard to establish. Now, the next piece of the marketing puzzle is to stop selling results alone. I know it sounds totally backwards because every coach out there is telling you to sell the results. Things like, I made $10,000, want to learn how? Join my program. Or my clients reached $20,000, want to do the same? This program is for you. Those are all things that focus on simply selling the results alone. Now, your program promise is amazing and it can and should be results driven. But equally, if not more important, is the actual method that you use to how you deliver on that promise. This is where you showcase how you get them to the promised land. So often we use vague and intriguing marketing, either because we've been taught that that's the thing to do because we don't want someone to steal our process, or because we struggle to truly understand and recognize, nonetheless articulate the gravity of our work. So we figure that if we can get them to the actual program, we can wow them with our work. Now, for some coaches, maybe the ones that you've signed up with and had maybe a negative experience, maybe that's not it, right? And they literally don't have a methodology. But I'm going to assume that if you're here and you're in my world, you do, and you're operating ethically and you actually want to support your clients by delivering client results. Now, if you find yourself being sucked into coaches marketing, preaching about 300K months, not posting or working, or people just falling into their world with little to no effort, I'm going to give you a little bit of a real talk moment here. Business is hard. It's not a just wake up and it's all working type of situation. There's work in creating that ease. And many will tell you otherwise, only making it feel like you're a total failure if it doesn't work when you just show up and clients don't just land on your lap. They aren't showing you the real side of business. And we're here, we're committed to talking about the real talk of business growth. So I'm going to share with you that many businesses that showcase these $300,000 months aren't really talking about the fact that that came at the expense of a huge and expensive team that's running everything in the background. Or that maybe they're not talking about the fact that their clients are asking for refunds and they've had to block them on social media to avoid that backlash. Or maybe they're telling people that they don't have the right energy and it's not their fault. The reality is, methodology matters, results matter. Marketing is just the icing on the cake that showcases those two things. Delivering on the program promise is truly what's going to get you the results that you want on the front end of your business. So I want you to walk away with that first piece of the puzzle where we talked about the marketing side, recognizing that number one, we're not going to sell them what they want and give them what they need. We're going to bridge the gap between what it is that they want and what it is that they need. This is not only going to breed more trust in your business, but it's going to massively upgrade your authority because people are going to see you as an expert, as someone who can accurately diagnose where the problem really is. This instantly creates resonance with your audience. It creates movement within your audience, and it creates this energy of real and true trust that creates long term results for you and your client. And the second piece of that marketing puzzle is recognizing that we don't want to just speak to the results. While results are really incredible and they can be really intriguing for your audience, just as important is for you to be able to showcase the methodology that you bring to the table. Now, I'm not going to go into complete detail around methodology because you can go ahead and check out my mini series at easyesleads.com or check out some of our past episodes where we break down what it really looks like to develop methodology. And specifically, we talk about innovative gap methodology. But I want you to be able to realize that showcasing the how you deliver results, how your process works, why it's the only way for them to get those results is what's going to ultimately create your own pathway. Allow clients to see you as the authentic and massive authority that showcases their innovation. So let's now talk about what it means to actually deliver on the program promise, because that's the second piece of the puzzle. Now, I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that right now you're probably operating your program from a place of reactive coaching, consulting, or service, meaning that right now, when your clients come into your business, they're sharing what's happening or what their goals are or where their struggles are, and you're reacting with the solution that you provide. Now, this works, don't get me wrong, but it's also really difficult to scale without running you into the ground. So, if you're truly going to be able to deliver phenomenal results and actually enjoy your life while you're doing that, you need to be able to automate that delivery system and the results that you actually get for your clients. So, let's talk about what this actually looks like. It starts by knowing how to replace yourself as the keeper of all of the knowledge and the sole person that the genius of your program relies upon. And one of the ways that we can do this is implement automation into your delivery system. And it's what I call proactive programming. So let's think of it this way. Instead of you hopping on Zoom or Voxer or whatever communication method that you're using, and you're dreading it because you're being thrown one thing after another, whether that's in a one-to-one engagement or one-to-many, your clients are now able to go through a methodical process that anticipates their needs and the journey that they need to go on, while also acknowledging their unique and specialized needs. So rather than you waiting for something to come up and then reacting to it, instead, we analyze and anticipate where people are going to get stuck and create solutions to proactively support them through your delivery system. Now, most people will focus on an onboarding system, how people pay, how people sign a contract and get added into the program, and they'll automate that. But they'll skip the step of automating the actual delivery. This isn't simply about building a course. And while you may have a course portal attached to your offer, You may also not. A great example of this is leveraging a one to one offer. So many of my clients, especially in the healing space, come to me because they want to focus on one to one delivery within their program. But instead of operating on a week to week basis and the client being the one to lead the process, you take the reins as the expert. And we do this by outlining your methodology and then literally applying that methodology through your programming. Now, of course, we don't want to remove that personalized and customized pieces that make your one to one so powerful. But instead of just kind of seeing what comes up this week, we set out a pathway to ensure those results. Now, this is not only going to increase your client's success and motivation because they not only know the pathway that they're going on and can actually move towards it, but it also decreases the stress and the time required to handle things as they come up. This is going to create not only a better programming style, but also a more scalable program. But let me kind of show you what this actually looks like in real life. Now, I had a client, she's amazing. She supports her clients with really being able to take the lead and optimize their health. Now, through proactive programming and auditing process, what we realized was that so many of her clients, when they were coming in through her process, were actually going through a detox period because she was eliminating certain foods that their bodies didn't react well to. Now, as a result of this, people were getting headaches, and oftentimes this could lead to people feeling frustrated or losing motivation and kind of bouncing off of the plan that they had created together. So, what we did is we acknowledged where that detox period occurred within the process and not only really alleviated that by sharing the expectations, showcasing what may happen, but also giving them proactive opportunities for how to eliminate that detox period altogether. A result of this was that her clients were getting better success, meaning clients were going fully through the program and not losing out on that motivation that it took to stay the course, but also that her clients trusted her more. They were really excited about the process because they knew what to anticipate in front of them. Now, oftentimes when we're leveraging programs that are more reactive, where you're kind of handling things as they come up, your prospective client loses that motivation, but it also loses some of that trust because they don't know what to expect. Your clients are always going to be able to see better results when they know what to expect and what's in front of them. This is why it's so important to leverage proactive programming rather than solely focusing on reactive programming. This ensures that we can deliver on the promise that we make. It's the foundation of yours and your client's success. And I'd be remiss to say that this is the piece of the puzzle that most people skip. And it's also the one that I personally pour the most of my energy into. Now, just a few months ago, I realized that I was making some big shifts to truly scale my business to the next level. And as a result, I knew that I needed to shut down my marketing, my sales, my client acquisition for a solid 2 months. This was because I wanted to be able to spend and really focus my attention on upgrading and adding enhancements to my programming. And it wasn't that my marketing couldn't act on its own, it absolutely could. We've got the automated system, but I really didn't want to bring more clients into my programs without first having upgraded it. Now, the reason why I did this wasn't because my clients weren't succeeding, actually, quite the opposite, but it was because I wanted my clients to continue to succeed and do so faster and more efficiently so that I could actually take this to scale. And because I recognize that this is the side of scaling that so many of us forget in that delivering results, I was setting my business up for a huge next level scale. And I refused to jump into marketing and more selling and more client acquisition without getting my back end straight, without ensuring that my clients could get those incredible results when we went to scale. This is where legacies are made. This is where success becomes sustainable because you aren't meant to just be a great marketer. You're meant to be an innovator, a change maker, a transformational leader. And that requires grit and your commitment to delivering amazing and incredible client results at scale. And there are some key factors to how we actually deliver that process within your system. And this is where we make it all happen. So let's talk about what I call results mechanisms, what they are, why they're important, and how this creates an out of this world results process for your clients. Now, to truly become proactive, you need to actually be able to systematize the support so that your clients are able to strategically implement that delivery process within your program. In other words, your systems need to be able to operate independently of you, meaning you don't need to be on Voxer or on Zoom calls or whatever it is. Your clients should be able to gather that same perspective and those points of results without always needing you to actively be on. Now, the way that we do this is through what I call results mechanisms. Now, implementing results mechanisms allow you to really systematically set up your program so that your client's success becomes inevitable, independent of your involvement. Think of it this way. Proactive programming is like the identification of the problem and the formulation of a solution, right? Results mechanisms, though, are the tangible tools, the systems, the protocols that really implement that solution. So I want to kind of share that with you with using my business as an example. I noticed that so many people that were coming to me had gone through a nightmare scenario with a previous coach where they had them build out the entire strategy and work through months and months of building a system, only for them to get to the end and discover that it doesn't work. It's like flipping the light switch and realizing that the light bulb is broken or it's burnt, right? And you now have spent months painstakingly implementing every single thing within that process, only to find that something's broken. And even worse, you don't know why or where it's broken. Now, this is really reactive at best, but I wanted my clients to have complete confidence that the EasyS method works. So I went through my entire methodology and my program and identified where I could incorporate these checks and balances, these protocols that enable my clients to easily verify that the step that they've created right now actually works and creates the right results that we want, or to make the necessary adjustments without needing to start from scratch. That is proactive programming. And the results mechanisms that I created, to just name one of them, is a business check in, where each week my clients actually submit their business check in and they lay out exactly where they're at in the process by submitting this playbook to me. This allows me to not only have a system in place to identify each person's progress, but it also allows me to synthesize and distill the information that they're sharing with me and show them where the broken pieces are so that they don't move on and build out an entire system on a broken piece of the puzzle where we don't actually know where that broken piece is. We create what we call compounding validation, where we actually get a result from one piece of the puzzle before adding another piece on top of it. So there's two things that go into that, right? Not only are my clients submitting something to me, allowing me to distill and synthesize the information they've shared and give them real-time feedback, but also allows us to apply what we've learned and what we've created and get a result from it before building the next piece on top of it. This makes my client's success inevitable, and it leverages results mechanisms, again, in this case, that business check in order for them to create that sureness and that ability to be able to create those results at scale. Now, this is exactly what I provide for my clients. It's the reason why they have amazing, incredible results. And these are the tools, the systems, and the protocols that ensure your clients can get results at scale. They fill the gaps in the delivery process. Just like we fill the gaps in the marketing process, we have to do the same thing in the delivery process to ensure that we can really actually get our clients those results at scale. It's why we can't just make big promises and expect our clients to get those results by us reacting. We have to be able to not only speak to the promise in a clear and articulated way that allows them to identify for themselves, is this the right process for me? Is this one thing that's going to get me to the result that I want? Because remember, if we do not showcase the methodology, the approach that we take to deliver results, you might be signing up for a program that, sure, they've gotten amazing and incredible results, but they've done so in a way that maybe doesn't feel authentic to you or doesn't match your personality type. Maybe it's messaging 100 people a day, and that's not really something you want to do. But because they've really kept that to the side and made it where you can't see that until you're inside the program, you sign up and you don't realize until after you forked over $20,000 that that's not the right fit for you. So not only does your methodology and really showcasing marketing that speaks to the delivery of how you do things, but it also allows you to really allow people to recognize that this is the right fit and approach to them. This means that you're going to get better clients coming into your business. I'm talking about people who want to achieve the results they have and that they really actively understand that your process is the right fit for them. But also it creates this incredible trust formation where people now want to showcase and share your message with others because you've created some flexibility. You've been really transparent in your process. And ultimately, isn't that what we all want? We want others to be able to see the value that we bring and showcase that. Now, whether or not you're struggling with knowing what your process is so that you can clearly articulate that methodology, or if it's simply that you've been scared up until this point because you've been told otherwise, I want you to walk away from this episode realizing that it's comes down to those two factors. It comes down to understanding and speaking to the marketing that bridges the gap between where they are and what they desire and what you truly believe that they need. And also speaking to and clarifying for them how you actually deliver upon those results. But also recognizing that the delivery of what you do within your programs and how you can consistently create those results for your clients at scale is ultimately up to you. And doing so in a way that's going to allow you to provide amazing and incredible results without always needing to be on is where that proactive programming really falls into place. And this is why the easiest method truly is the only method out there that supports our clients in being able to not only create the client acquisition that's automated, but also the delivery system so that you can take your business to scale. And it all happens with three simple steps. The first being that we develop your innovative gap methodology. This is where we understand and synthesize your innovation into a clearly articulated methodology that creates that baseline message you can share over and over again. This allows you to clearly showcase how you deliver results, but also leverages marketing that's going to authentically share and showcase your innovation so that you are no longer trying to chase attention and chase demand, but rather create demand. And the second step of that process is the infinite sales highway, how we actually automate the conversion process so that you can actually get your leads to sell themselves. And the core foundation of why and how this works is what we call mimic decision making, recognizing that your two highest intent leads are your mid intent and high intent leads, and recognizing that they make decisions in a very specific and strategic way. And when we leverage our infinite sales highway, we speak to those two different types of clients and take them on a conversion journey using the bingeable sales system and the one touch content system. And the third and final piece is the pure profit system. This is exactly what we've been talking about here today, how we actually automate on the delivery of your program so that you can get your clients results at scale. So I want to invite you to the next step. If you haven't already heard me, I want to get on a call with you. I want to chat with you about what it looks like to diagnose the real problem in your business and for me to be able to showcase for you how we can use the ECS method for you to collapse time and really be able to scale your business with the highest profit margins possible. So as always, you can go to ecsleads.com/call to book your call. If you're feeling a little uneasy, like you don't want to be pitched to or sold to, I just want to preemptively say to you, these are not high pressure sales calls. This is not how we operate. We're not in the game of convincing. This is a real live conversation with me and you. I actually don't ask you to make any decisions on the call itself. We're going to actually diagnose for you where that biggest problem is, where your growth optimization points are. I'm also going to share with you how and if the easiest method can work for you. I'll be completely honest with you. The reason we do calls is because this is a two-way street and it has to fit both of us. There are so many people we turn away because I don't want to bring people into my programs that I don't actually believe I can deliver results to. It's a really big foundational piece of my program. But also, I want to make sure it's a good fit for you. So we'll talk about that. So again, you can head on over to ecsleads.com/call. You can also send me a message over on Instagram or Facebook and we can chat a little bit more there as well. But if you're new around here, you don't know what my methodology is about, and you want a little bit more information about what this looks like, head on over to ecsleads.com where you can binge listen to our Netflix Effect series where I break down exactly how we get our leads to sell themselves using the Netflix Effect. And you know I love it when you rate, share, and subscribe because this means the world to us to help us create a movement with this message of truly getting innovators to act and think as the innovators that they are. So until next time, here's to keeping it real.